then one of our graphics editors, Amanda Cox, who's just an amazing statistician. She came up with this idea where each district is represented by a line, and in the top is where the line, like where the district started out and where the margin was in '92, and in the bottom where the district ended up in '94. So you see in the '94 election, like when they had the Republican Revolution, you can see there are a lot more lines that are moving to the right. Right? And if you look at a more typical election year, when there really isn't like a big shift either way, like in the 2004 election, this bottom one, there's like a lot of movement, but there's not any like consistent, like there's not consistent movement in one direction. But you can really see it, I think, in '94, you can see like the country moving to the right. And I think that's, like that, this is getting close. What do you guys think about this? Still too crazy? No. It's a little crazy, right? But you gotta like, don't be scared of crazy we're gonna try to get there. So I still really like this a lot. I think there's gonna be a time when we're gonna be able to use this. But I don't think so. So yeah, it's, the thing I find really satisfying about this is that one of the nice things about like data-driven graphics, like the things like the really good data-driven graphics work at the micro level and the macro level. It's like a fractal. That you can go in and you can look and see. You can see an individual district becoming more Republican. But when you step away from it and you look at like the mass of lines, if you look at them, like you went to the other end of the room and looked at it kind of blurred out, you will see this like kind of movement, just as from the form of the graphic as a whole. And when graphics do that, like especially data graphics, when they speak to you on all those different levels, like there's a kind of magic to it. Well, for me. Okay, so another like one of my colleagues, Matt Erickson, had another idea, and he thought, well, I think he read this. He was reading some statistical like academic report, and they had a chart where they were doing this. Okay, so you can imagine these are like arrows. Imagine the little circles are like arrows, like pointing in the direction the line is going. And so this is again mapping out the '94 election, the Republican Revolution. And what the chart is doing is, when I have these, I have this 2004 result and a 2006 result. It's plotting on a scale. If this is plus 50 Democrat, plus 50 Republican. It's mapping on a scale like where it was in 2004, so maybe it was here in 2004, and then it moved in this direction and it ended up here in 2006. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's kind of intuitive, it starts here in 2004 and it moves in, and that's nice. It just feels right. It may not feels right, but when you step back from it and you look at it as a whole, I don't know. What do you guys think? What works about this?
You need a graphic to explain the graphic. I said you need a graphic to explain the graphic.
Yeah, we need a graphic to explain the graphic. Yeah. Excuse me?
You can't tell where the line starts.
No, we're just
You can't tell. Yeah, you can't tell where it's starting from when you're stepping far away. Yeah. So this one, like, you kind of have to read close to get up to it. So now the reason the lines are all a jumble is because we've actually, like in this case, we've listed all the states alphabetically, because that was like kind of the obvious, like the first thing we did. So just kind of list all the states alphabetically. So everything there's kind of no pattern to it, like when you step back from it. So I think Amanda had the idea, like, what if we sort it by the where the margin ended up in the last election. Sorted it. And you get this. So in this case, there begins to be an order. You kind of see an axis, this diagonal axis moving down, right? And all the arrowheads that end up on the right half of the chart are seats that ended up Republican, and all the arrowheads that end up on the left half of the chart are seats that ended up Democrats. So you can see like all these seats down here, these are all seats that ended up Democrat in 1970, and all the seats up there are ones that ended up Republican in 1970. And ones that cross the middle line are ones that switch. So this one started out as Republican and became a Democrat. And this one started out as a Democrat, became Republican. So this is beginning to gel as a form and at different levels. So Amanda was able to plot this because we kind of want to see how this is working, because we don't have no idea how the election is going to end up looking. And we wanted to test to make sure that this wasn't some crazy idea that we were preparing to put in the paper on the day after the election. So we plotted out, and you can see like in 1974, after the whole Nixon debacle, a lot of the districts moving to the left, becoming more Democratic. And so that's kind of interesting. And if you go to more like a regular year, like there's more mixed movement. There's not a consistent movement. Well, let's jump to the Republican Revolution. So 1994. So if you look at 1994, like you see this tremendous shift in all this micro, like at the micro level with each district moving to the right, and that's the kind of thing that we're hoping to capture. So we decided this was a form that we were going to try to use, and and try to make this work. So this is a graphic that we ended up doing, and I think this one is a lot harder to understand than the presidential election chart. It definitely requires a lot more study. And in fact, it required like so much study that like we were instructed to put like 2 keys on the chart. Like put 2 keys in any of the charts. We were asked to put 2. So we had a key over here in the top left to explain like arrows, which direction the arrows went, and then have another key here to also explain the same thing again. But like this one, the newsroom really pushed back at us, a lot. But to really say like you can run this, but you really got to explain it more. And so, I kind of think like these are the kinds of things that like we're going into this next election, and you can start thinking about this now. And the thing is like don't just think about it by yourself. Like think about this like with your colleagues. Like bounce ideas. It's like none of this stuff happens in a vacuum. Like it happens through a lot of discussion with many different people, and you can't, like it takes bouncing the ideas off of different people before you can get to something. I think in this, this convention there's going to be a lot of talk about how multimedia is affecting. So, the guy I sit next to, Sean Carter, he is probably our main Flash guy, and he was charged with figuring out a way to present the results on the web. And how is this going to work on the web? Well, yeah, you laugh. It's really hard. Right? So, and it's so hard that it's impossible. It's just in print, you have like a huge canvas, right? And you can do this, and you can present 20 inches of little tiny lines. Right? But on the web, you have 700 pixels, and actually after the toolbars, you only have 500 pixels. So, how do we do it? So, Sean and Amanda actually came up with something completely different that we did on the web, and I put links to all this, to the web stuff on. I'll give you a link for it. But so he came up with a different way of presenting it. But I think it's also stuff we can just talk about later on for this company. But I hope that kind of keyed off some ideas and ways of thinking. That's all I have.
some time if you have any questions you'd like to ask.